Welcome to another episode, another class in the positive power of negative feelings. We're going to do kind of a strong practice today. 2 different 3-minute practices. So they're short, but they're kind of strong with some breath holding. And we're going to talk about guilt. So why do I always talk about an emotion and then we do some sort of breath meditative practice, right? I'll tell you why. Because emotions trouble people a lot. That's been my conclusion, working with people and working with myself. So we've got to find a way to work with emotions that's better than repressing them or just regurgitating them out and reacting heavily. We want to learn to not be reactive, to be in control of things, of ourselves and our situations. So, but these emotions, they can, when they're strong especially, they really take over. So we need a way to access the calm, clear part of our mind that we in yoga call the meditative mind. So breathing is one way that really does that. It creates a focus. When you hold the breath out especially, it really gets your mind alert and ready to focus. So when you're focused, when you're operating from the prefrontal cortex, you have more control over what's going on. So stay tuned. We're going to do some strong practices, and I just explained why. So the emotion du jour today is guilt. Guilt is something that some people don't think they really have much of or relate to, and deeper inspection we find out that guilt runs a lot of our lives. So my title today was Not Your Grandma's Guilt. So grandma's guilt, not to indict any one person, but sort of an older paradigm that's really thousands of years old, is guilt used to control. Because when you feel guilty, it weakens you. You feel bad about yourself. So a typical guilt, demeanor is, downward shrinking. So true or not, when you feel guilty, you question yourself, you doubt yourself, you're not sure, you feel bad about yourself, you accuse yourself, or others do it for you. So since it weakens people, it was discovered long ago that if I can guilt you, get you to feel guilty, blame you, and then you will be under my control. You will go to hell if you do this. So then do what I want you to do and you won't feel guilty. Now, that's not to overlook the positive side of guilt, and that's where I want to go. So guilt in the old times was used not only to control and demean, but to help keep people under control, as if they didn't know how to control themselves, which may be true. That's why parents use it and grandparents use it. But what is guilt really? What is conscious guilt? Guilt is an internal guide. I mean, nature made guilt. Your grandma didn't make it. She just learned how to work it. So guilt is a guide when I somewhere deeply know my highest self and my highest behavior and my highest integrity and values. And when I'm not living to those, either because I don't know them or for some other convenience that I'd rather, some benefit I'd gain by acting outside of my integrity, then guilt's this sort of internal alarm, like, no, you're not being who you really want to be, who you really are. And that's how we can use guilt to consciously guide ourselves or be guided to what? To truth, to our truth. All right? So that's my preamble on guilt. We're going to do a couple of short but strong practices, as I said, where the breath is held and it really alerts, it makes your mind alert. The point being to become very clear. Clear away all the doubt, the confusion, the I'm not sure. When you're not sure what to do, how can that be? How can you not know what is you and what is good for you and what you want? Well, only when there's cloudiness, different people telling you different stories and what you should do and shouldn't do. So it takes a leap of faith to trust yourself or your kid or someone else to follow that guidance. But that's where we want to go in the new age. We want to learn to follow our own guidance. So we're going to do a couple of practices that are just going to clear the air. And then in the little space that creates, I want to see if you just can know who you are and what's right for you. So if you want to pick a situation where either in the past, present, or future, you didn't know what to do or don't know what is right or which is the right way to behave or to do, have that in the wings that you can then test it later after we do these clarifying exercises. Okay? So enough talk. Here's the first practice. I'm going to explain it a little bit, and then it just takes 3 minutes. Palms are together like this and stretched up overhead. So my palms may be off camera, but you can see that they're just like this. And if that's hard, you can lock them together with the thumbs. But there we are, and that's straight up. Here's the challenge. 3 times, you're going to exhale deeply, then inhale, and hold the breath for 1 minute, and I'll count the time for you. And I'll give you a few clues or cues to make this a little easier. If this practice interests you, you might take a little while till you can actually hold the breath for 3 minutes. I'll give you a few little, call them cheats or call them, learning accessories. All right? So are you settled and calm and sitting still? Take a few deep breaths and calm yourself. All right, so you're tuned into yourself and ready to go. All right? So palms together, practice with me. This is not a spectator sport, folks. I'm going to go with you here. So arms up, palms together. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Close your eyes. Now inhale very deeply. We get to count the inhale time. So inhale slowly, 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 till you can inhale no more. And then just stop. Now be as calm as you can be. Don't strain your arms, just hold them up. Let your mind be still. Thinking uses energy. Energy takes oxygen. Save your oxygen. Just be calm and thoughtless as possible. Be relaxed, calm. This is to develop a meditative mind. Because as the clock ticks, you'll feel some pressure to breathe. Now, if you're feeling bad, you can inhale a little more. And you've only got less than 10 seconds. See if you can make it. Now, in case this is a little challenging for you, and exhale. Now let's do a little training practice. Inhale once in between. And exhale. And now let's start the next round. Start your slow inhale. I like to take 10, 12 seconds to inhale and then top it off. And hold. So we get to count the inhale time. And if you don't need that breath in between, the full practice is not to breathe in between, but I wanted to give you a little so you could have success today and practice. Now be calm, clear, still. If you feel the urge to breathe, see if you can sip in a little more. And then it starts getting a little uncomfortable. You've got less than 10 seconds. I find that it helps me to know, I feel bad, but I can make it 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. One more time. That's the whole practice. Inhale. We're doing a little training cheat. Exhale. Maybe you didn't need it. Now inhale deeply, slowly start. 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold steady. Now, if you can repeat a mantra, but no thinking, just something, either silence or a steady, repetitive listening to a mantra or song. So you're focused without effort. Holding the breath for 1 minute. If it's hard today, practice a while, but even just trying helps develop a clarity in your mind. We're at under 10 seconds now. You can make it. Sip in a little if you need to. And exhale. Now take a moment. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Just relax. Keep your eyes closed. How do you like that? Be remaining in just silent clarity, wisdom. I feel grand, I feel vast, I feel part of the universe. How about you? Okay. 3-4 minutes. Practice that once a day. If you feel good. Now this particular practice is limited to just 3 breaths. So you don't have to overdo it, don't want to overdo it. Did it clear your mind a little bit? Did it clear your emotional field a little bit? Like, did you feel just kind of clean and clear? Well, you may feel something very different, but if it's moving in the right direction, if it's something positive for you, just keep practicing this thing. Now, let's do practice number 2. Also 3 minutes. Little different. So, again, to remind you about guilt, we want to, let me just check a note here. Right. Yeah. So this time we're going to hold the breath out. Just need a little reminder there. So put your fingers, first finger and thumb together, and cross them over your heart. Cross your heart. Bless your heart, honey. Cross your heart. So kind of powerful, right? Didn't the pharaohs want to be buried in this mudra, this posture? Yeah, powerful. Okay. Protecting the heart, blessing the heart. And I want to say that guilt is a way to get back to your original innocence if it's been lost. And your innocence is always with you no matter what you've done, but you sometimes got to find your way back. So here's the practice. You will exhale completely, hold the breath out, and then pump the belly rhythmically 24 times. That's 3 sets of 8. If you want to do a mantra with it or some sort of positive affirmation, but it should be a one word, one beat, you know, like boom, boom, boom. Okay, so again, I'll demo. And these are 1 second beats, so they're not fast. So it's 1, 2. My belly's going in, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do 24 of those. That'll be about a 30 seconds with the breath out, and I think you can do it. But we're just going to do it for 3 minutes, so are you ready? Okay, so please join me, not a spectator sport. Inhale, eyes closed, exhale. Now pump, pump, 3, 4. Belly's jumping in. On each pulse, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Inhale. Take your time. Exhale again. Keep the mudra going. Eyes closed. Exhale, exhale, and begin on your own time. Your pumps. I'm on 3, 4, 5, 6. Now pump that belly in and then release it. Nineteen, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's it. Okay, so inhale again. Exhale. About halfway through already. Let's keep going. Now, pump. I'm just going to count the seconds. We may not all be on the same count yet. Belly goes in, out, in, release, tight in, release, tight in, release. Tight. Okay, you're on your own to count now. Many mantras have 8 beats in them. That would be 3 repetitions of 8. Good. Stay with it now. 1 more minute. Maybe that's just 1 more round for you, or 2, 1.5. Good. Now this practice is said to help you relate to your own essence, your own inner essential self. And then guilt is a way of telling you when you're warmer or colder in terms of expression of your highest self, your truest self. So yeah, guilt doesn't feel good. Well, that's so you'll want to get away from it. How do you get away from it? Is to check your integrity, correct your behavior, learn from mistakes. So guilt's not about sin and punishment. It's about trial and error, learning from mistakes, correcting. That's 3 minutes. So relax yourself now. Let's go down and just relax your hands down. Sit still. Let your mind be quiet. Just be experiencing your existence. Is there a little window when you feel you know who you are? You know how innocent and great you are. Just have a clear view of your real self, your essence, without the mind just chattering what you've been told. Now, if you're still in that peaceful state, is there something that's been troubling you in the past, present, or future about what you did or what somebody accused you of? In your clarity, review that and say, what is true? What's my truth? What's true for me? But listen into your heart, not to the head. Heart speaks truth. Okay. I just try to lead you to some clear, pure water and see if you'll drink. And give you a practice to keep doing that yourself. So 2 little practices. You can watch this tape again and get it. Very simple. Hold the breath 3 1-minute times. Hold the breath out for 24 seconds while you're pumping the belly. And see what you get. See what you see. And I hope I've helped you take a little fork in the road with any relationship to guilt, either given by you or received by you, past, present, or future, and see it as a learning tool, the way that the universe helps us learn from mistakes. Some mistakes are big. We call them sins. We call them felonies and crimes. Well, maybe you had to do it to test it out and see if that's really you or not, if that's right for you or not. And so you will have to make amends. You'll have to make it right as best you can. But the universe is asking you to learn and do better next time. Do better, meaning truer to you. So, not your grandma's guilt. New age conscious guilt. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you one more time at the end of this series. We will look at shame, the great debilitator of men and women. And let's find the gift in that. Let's find the positive purpose of shame next time. Okay, see you then, and thanks very much.